I came across Art of Feminine Presence at a time in my life when I obviously needed to connect more deeply to myself. And I learned to set my light globe. The light globe is where we build our feminine energy from our womb space.
Sometimes when you can just relax into the beauty of what's going on instead of the problem of what's going on. And that's why I say, for me, surrender has been the biggest proof of the art of feminine presence.
We make mistakes as women, and I believe it's intuition leading us to learning to choose differently, to grow as a person. And so having that grace to recognize that and just go, you know, I don't mind. What have I learned? What can I do differently?
The feminine is about allowing, is about receiving, is about nurturing, is about nourishing. What I experience and what I'm receiving from the divine is really, the feminine is the being, just be.
Something about being for me is, it's hard because I'm such a practical thinker. And so I tend to really focus in on the doing aspect of being rather than just being.
I find that you need to relinquish the power that you hold and give yourself grace and give that space to allow it to be filled with something else, whether that be just being in the moment.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. But before we dive into today's Wisdom Circle, I have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or support you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you so much for walking this path with us, and let us begin with today's conversation. Welcome to another beautiful and incredible Wisdom Circle that I'm really excited. I love the art of feminine presence. Of course, my name's Sophia from Sacred You, but really, most importantly today is we have these women from all over the world coming to join us to discuss the art of feminine presence. And facilitating this incredible Wisdom Circle is our beautiful Leeann Kime. Thank you, Leeann, so much for bringing your wisdom to Sacred You and sharing it with the world. I'm going to hand it over to you and to introduce yourself, the concept of the art of feminine presence, and all these wonderful women. And I will be back at the end. So thank you.
Thank you, Sophia, and welcome everyone. It's such a very treasured subject. I've done many years, I've studied energy healing. I'm a medical intuitive. I'm also an author, a co-author in 2 books, and I'm just co-authoring my 3rd at the moment. So I'm really excited about that. This one is actually about healing. And I came across Art of Feminine Presence at a time in my life when I obviously needed to connect more deeply to myself. Being like very empathic, I was not able to really understand where my energy ended and where somebody else's energy came in. So the art of feminine presence was this wonderful training that I undertook for my own life, and then also trained for facilitating this practice for other women. And I learned to set my, what we call light globe. And the light globe is where, I'll talk about it in our drop-in meditation. The light globe is where we build our feminine energy from our womb space, and then we are able to be very connected, very calm, very steady, very like intuitive. And so that's what I'm so passionate about this. It's made such a difference in my life and women that I've already worked with as well. So if you would like to move to Rachel to introduce yourself, Rachel, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. That was such a great introduction to you and this space. I'm Rachel. I'm from England, Brighton, and I am a dating expert and queen of connection. So I come from, I have a teaching background and I support and guide women to attract their love life partner to them through using their feminine energy and projecting that outwards, because it's so important to know not only what you're projecting outwards, but how that is also been received, because sometimes there can be a bit of a difference between that. So that's the start of the process, and a lot to do with mindset and grounding as well. And then, yeah, just making that path to whatever that looks like for the women that I work with.
Thank you, Rachel, and welcome. And Suzanne, you're on my right. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Leeann. Absolutely, and thanks for allowing me to speak here today. I am Suzanne BLOHM. I am from the west coast of Canada, and I am a manifestation coach. So Rachel was talking about attracting to you that love partner, and we're talking about feminine presence today. And so for me, it's attracting to us what we're looking for in our lives and not forgetting our feminine presence in the process, that it's not all the masculine side, it's not all hustle, that we are a feminine, more than 50% of us are feminine beings, and to embrace that as we go through life and honestly just be who we're meant to be. So I really love this topic. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Suzanne, and welcome. And Meeka, would you like to introduce yourself and welcome?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I feel so blessed to not only have found the Wisdom Circle, but to have found Sacred You and to be welcome. So I appreciate you guys so much. My name is Meeka, the Traveling Tarot. I am a tarot reader, and I use tarot to bring up the current energies and to see where those challenges are, and then utilize that to see how we can move forward. And my direct experience with the art of feminine energy is surrender. It comes down to that word, because you can tell when you are no longer relaxing into a situation and when you're hustling and using that masculine energy. And I have manifested some incredibly beautiful things from finally just saying, I can't do it anymore and relaxing into it, and almost instantly things show up. So now in my sessions, I use the tarot to find out where your current energy is. And then we move into how to soften your energy around so that you can attract in the things that you're asking for.
Welcome. Thank you, Meeka.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Megan, welcome. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, happy to be here with everyone. And hello, Anick. I saw you earlier this week. I don't know if the glasses are throwing you off, but we were together earlier, just in case you remember. Yeah, so I am Megan Johnson. I'm an executive coach, speaker, and I'm also a organizational development consultant. So I'm a little bit out of the healing space that I feel like is coming into the room, but at the same time, all of those arts and energies that are in the room are also very welcome to me. So I tend to work with high performers, high achievers who are wanting to move into some sort of next level. So I focus in on helping them gain some confidence, gain some clarity, and then really are able to then move them forward into whichever direction they're wanting to go through. And I often really emphasize clarity because sometimes we all really want to do a lot of things, or maybe I should just speaking for myself there, but it's really honing that down and clarifying that. And then the topic of the art of feminine presence. That's a very interesting topic to me. Coming from someone who's been called a man girl in corporate America before, I can bring that to the conversation. I can tell you a little bit more about that. But I also am a big believer that we all have both feminine and masculine qualities and characteristics. And I think sometimes in corporations, which is my background, some of the feminine characteristics are either there's some shame brought in with those, or there's just some ability to have to dampen down some of those. And so I jokingly tell all the men I ever work with that they're really emotional, just for fun. I'm just kidding. I really don't. I really don't. But I just think there's a lot of like things like that we can bring into where everyone has the energies of masculine and feminine, and not try to see them as a male-female thing, but see them as something to be celebrated in all of us.
Thank you, Megan, and welcome. Anick, welcome. And would you be happy to share?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Saturday morning here in Australia. I'm getting ready to go to a birthday party in the country in a retreat center. I'm so excited. It's a long weekend here in Australia, Anzac Day on Monday, so the sun is shining. So I'm Anick PATRY. I'll get out of your left brain that my French accent is from Montreal. I'm from the snow, and I've moved on the other side of the world to live on the beach, which is great. I am who I am. Who am I this morning? I'm a magician. I help heart-centered entrepreneurs to own their true voice and own their creative power so that they can be paid to do what they're passionate about and be on purpose. As a soul purpose coach, I'm the founder of the Voice Alchemist Academy. We're talking about the feminine this morning. Us women, we've been silenced. Our voice has been shut down. We've played role of be a nice girl, don't make too much noise, or you know what I mean? All the people pleaser, the perfectionism. I am in recovery of all that garbage, and I'm super passionate to see us free, to see us liberated in our power, creating our magic, our medicine, empowering, educating, elevating. I love that. And I think women, we are the stronger gender. We're so powerful. We give life. Our sexual energy is so powerful. So yeah, I'm excited about this conversation and to see to learn from you all and to share my perspective and my experience, because my feminine was completely shut down and I didn't feel safe to be in a feminine body for a long time.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to ask you, just with the witnessing in the art of feminine presence, we have the practice of witnessing. So as you've witnessed all of these wonderful women contributing their, like you said, your magic, your medicine, your essence of who you are, what you truly love, what your desires are deep inside of you. They all jumped out onto the screen as I was witnessing you speak. I want you just to take a moment to drop in now. I'm going to take you through the practice of dropping into what we call home in the art of feminine presence. And this is coming from the masculine energy is more in the body, up higher, up in the shoulder head area, talking like quickly, using lots of words. The feminine is more dropping down, dropping home, dropping inward. So I invite you now to come on this little journey with me of dropping into womb space, dropping into home, coming home. So take a breath and feel how you're seated on your chair. how your legs feel, how your shoulders feel, your spine, and your breath. Is your breath high in the body? Is your breath lower in the belly? Knowing that there's not a right or wrong, we're observing, we're noticing, we're becoming present. And then drop your shoulders. Like you might even like to wriggle your shoulders a little. Sometimes we hold in our shoulders and we're not even aware. But that moving the shoulders helps the energy to maybe move in a place where your energy wants to move. And we're going to now move down into our beautiful belly bowl. And just below the navel, about halfway in toward the spine, I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful golden slippery slide, and you're going to just drop down, back and down. If you need to do that more than once, just imagine that golden slippery slide, and you drop down and back, way into womb space. And you may or may not notice a warmth, a light, or an energy in that presence. And we're going to just develop that connection by having the sense that our legs are like big tree trunks that go down from the hips, and they go down, and you feel your feet underneath your feet are like roots that go way down into Mother Earth, and they wrap around the very center and come back up through, bringing with you that beautiful Mother Earth energy, that beautiful strength and support through the feet, through the legs, and to activate womb space, the light, the warmth. Maybe it's the whole of your belly, your hips. And just with your breath now, just can you imagine that the light, the warmth, or this space just becomes a little brighter. And you've dropped out of your shoulders, out of your head, into this beautiful, strong, connective, wise womb space where your feminine energy is contained. And take a moment to rest there. Just rest. If you're not used to resting, allow this moment to just let go a little more. Just surrender a little more. Be present in your feminine energy. Allow this to strengthen, support, and nourish you. You may even like to have the masculine meet the feminine. Or you may just choose to simply be in your feminine and know that your masculine will join when you need, when you choose. And just on your next breath, on the exhale, just rest a little deeper, being supported by all of your inner wisdom, your inner strength. And then when you are ready, I'm going to gently invite you to continue to hold womb space and gently come back to the screen, to the presence of the other women. And when you're ready, without hurrying, just for a moment, witness the other women in this circle with you. And just see in that witnessing Do you notice something? Do you notice something's changed about their skin, about their expression? And if you look at yourself, do you notice anything about yourself? Just take a moment to witness the beautiful feminine on the screen, the feminine within you. It's one of the things I love about Zoom is I can invite you to look at yourself, to invite you to witness the other women in their feminine. And is there anyone would like to share what they do witness before we go on to our card and grace? I would be very interested to hear if you do witness something on the screen about yourself or someone else. And I could go first if you want, is that I notice a softening. It's like a more like a pull to the feminine, a pull to like, who is that woman? What is she? Look at her. This beautiful, soft, strong, interesting, that magnetic pull as that surrendering and that softening and dropping in to the wisdom happened. That's what I notice. It's like, oh, I just want to hug you all in that beautiful, like we're always beautiful women of feminine strength, you know? So if anyone else would like to share, that would be beautiful.
I'll share.
Thank you, Ray.
That's okay. So, yeah, I felt when you said the relax the shoulders, I was like, oh, I am actually a bit tense there. And then I don't know where the energy went, but I just could feel it getting released out of there, just calming down. And then when you invited us to open our eyes and come back into the space, I looked at myself and like you put, I just felt really calm and at peace and like accepted into each other's energies. And then I like scrolled through, I just felt the same energy back, that we were all just like more calmer and like ready to receive whatever was going to happen, but also accept that whatever we say is what was meant to be.
Thank you. Beautiful.
I'll share something. What I noticed was definitely the peacefulness. Rachel, you were so right when she mentioned resting. I felt like, whoa, I'm not actually resting. And then I felt it once I finally realized that I did feel it melt away. And so when I was able to open my eyes, I saw this glow over all of us, like a softening and a peacefulness, but there was like this, almost like a white glow, almost like we were all connected in some real way, some tangible way, or some visual way that I could see.
Thank you, Meeka. Is there anything else that...
Yes, I just wanted to add that the white glow that Meeka is speaking of, that I actually also saw that, which is just nice to find the connection that we both saw something similar. It just felt like there was a little bit of I felt like it was a little lamp that was like shining on the group, something like that. Yeah, everyone just seemed like a little lighter. And then I felt like there was a settling into the meeting, into the presence of everyone, into my own presence. And so I just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you, Megan. Suzanne or Anick? Anick, would you have anything?
Sure. It really allowed me to tune into my body, breathing, connecting with breath, connecting with my body, and then connecting with us today in a soft feminine space. So it was perfect to ground and soften in that womb space. Yeah, very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. I would jump in. I think little bits of what everyone said, the glow for sure on faces and my shoulders, just like Rachel talked about. I've had a really masculine day, getting lots done, started at 5 a.m. So it's just about dinner time for me now. So when you said settle and rest, and I'm like, oh, I'm standing, I'm not seated. So I
Oh,
actually felt a
wow.
shifting, and I'm like, okay, stand up straight, you're on camera. So it's very different. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you. I obviously needed to settle in, so I appreciate that.
Oh, you're so welcome. I guess in the training of art of feminine presence, that's one of the practices of that we come home and we practice over and over in our daily life, checking, am I home? Am I home? Where am I? And then if I then choose to come home, I can come home and then make decisions, meet people from that space, talk from that space. So that is very, very powerful in my life, that I have practiced that many times, even in difficult situations with people. When you have a hard conversation, coming home, dropping home is a very beautiful thing, because it allows, it helps you, it helps the entrainment of the energy of that other person to drop. When two goats are fighting, like two masculine goats are fighting, or it's like, oh no, I'll just relax. So it's like when this one relaxes, this one kind of drops down too. So it might not be so forceful. So that's an example of how coming home can be used in daily life. And that's what I really, truly love to share. And even looking for the answer to a question, a difficult question, sometimes being in the masculine and then being in the feminine can be two different types of answer. It might be the same, it might be different. And then joining the two together is also a lovely experiment. So what I did today is I have this beautiful deck of cards, and it's called Soulful Woman. You may have already seen it, or you may have it yourself if you're like a bit of a card freak like I am, Meeka. Yeah. And the card I chose for us was Grace. And I went, oh, that's nice. So I'll show you the card. It's Grace. And when I look at the card, I see all of the beautiful red, the passion, the power, the fire that feminine has as well. And the words, when I open to the deep source of grace, the flow of my life feels effortless and vibrant. Effortless and vibrant. And I guess that's the red, the vibrancy. So I would like to invite a little conversation about grace, or about effortless flow and the feminine. Maybe there was a time that wasn't happening in your life, then you learned that, and now it's, I can't live without it. Or I never want to live without it now that I've found it, kind of story. I'm not sure. But if someone would like to just begin with grace or effortless flow.
I definitely have something that comes to mind. A couple of years ago, I had started working at a job. I didn't have a car, and I really loved the job. I loved the people that I was working with, and I was riding the bus to get there, and it was a struggle. So one night I sat down and I wrote to my guides, I really thank you for this job. Thank you for these cool people that I get to work with. And I just know that you guys are working something out for me. And then I just went into how much I love to drive and how it feels. And just, I really leaned into how I felt about driving, because I really do love to drive long distances. And literally the next morning, my boss of 2 weeks now, she sends me a message and she says, I don't know why I got this nudge, but I found this car and I just want to make sure you wouldn't be offended if I got this for you. And I go, definitely not. So literally that day I was driving home, the next day after letting go. And that was one of many things like that have happened, but that was one of the big eye openers where I didn't go into it saying, oh, complaining, this is so hard. How can you guys do this and this? Why won't you help me? I just went in and I said, I love this. I love driving. I love this company. I love these people I get to work with. And I just really relaxed into the love and that passion and that feminine energy. And it happens just that fast. Sometimes when you can just relax into the beauty of what's going on instead of the problem of what's going on. And that's why I say, for me, surrender has been the biggest proof of the art of feminine presence in almost every area of my life.
Thank you, Meeka. And I feel lots of grace around you telling that story. It feels to me as though it's just genuinely filled with beautiful grace. It's like the surrender and then the grace, surrender and grace. Does anyone else feel that's how it happens for the feminine? Surrender and grace arises. Yeah.
I would also love to jump in. And yes, around the surrender. I love that story, Meeka. What a beautiful story, actually. Go manifester. Woohoo. For me, I've spent way too long in the masculine in my profession, and I taught for 32 years before becoming a manifestation coach. And in reality, it was always about get things done. I taught people making mistakes was fine. If you make a mistake, just don't care about it, just move forward. But in reality, when I use the words I don't care, oh, I still care. And I'm in the masculine side. I can really feel myself there, that there's not a forgiveness, there's not an ease with that at all. Versus a shift, a conscious shift that I've been making to move to that was crazy, but I don't mind. And I don't mind is more graceful. And there is if there's two cakes on the table, oh, I don't care if you take that one, I'll take this one. We can say I don't care as if we don't mind, but there's something in us that still does. And yet, if you say, I don't mind if you have the chocolate and I have the vanilla, there's a grace there. And if you don't feel that grace, then change your words, whatever the words need to switch for you, because it won't just be about choosing cake. It'll be about a decision, about a job, about a marriage partner, about the next shoes that you buy, whatever that is. And we make mistakes as women. And I believe it's intuition leading us to learning to choose differently, to grow as a person. And so having that grace to recognize that and just go, I don't mind. What have I learned? What can I do differently? And to move forward. So for me, that was a huge shift that I had to make and lose the I don't care, because I used to care.
Thank you.
On top of that, the universe is listening to what you mean, not what you say. So if you say you don't care and you really do, that's counterproductive.
Is there someone else would like to share any little ahas or story?
To touch more on what Suzanne was saying, a lot of the times when we actually have to get into that masculine energy of doing, we find ourselves sometimes losing our feminine essence because it's a very physical thing and it's exhausting and you've got to bang things into place sometimes. But I also found that if you can find a place of that feminine presence first, it turns into very physical energy and much more productive energy as well. So it really, spirituality and feminine presence is a very physical thing. It just needs to come from the place of inspiration so you can make decisions from the right place instead of trying to bang everything into place.
Anick, do you have something to share?
I do.
Wonderful.
I've got a lot to share. I've got a lot to share, but what's resonating with what Meeka was saying about the masculine, feminine, my experience of allowing myself to embody my inner masculine, because when you have a business, you have to take action, you have to lead, and you have to develop your masculine qualities and capacities. And the feminine is to allow, is about allowing, is about receiving, is about nurturing, is about nourishing. That beautiful softness. The feminine is about being, really the main thing for me. What I experience and what I'm receiving from the divine is really the feminine is the being, is in beingness, just be, just the feminine. A woman in her power, in her grace. You got the card grace. A woman in her grace. Actually, Anick in Sanskrit means grace. So my name is Grace.
Oh, wow.
My name is Grace. So the feminine in her power, not the wounded feminine. She, just her presence, she walks in a room, she radiates, she emanates like this light, this power, this sexuality, she becomes magnetic. She can, in a blink of an eye, she can receive whatever she sets her intention to receive. So it's about being, and the masculine is the doer, is the action taker, is doing. The masculine is doing, but again, he can be in his power and make some bold moves, like some powerful action, some inspired comes from God, from spirit, inspiration, some inspired actions that are powerful, and that's going to lead to the desired outcome. So yeah, that's the dance with grace is really the feminine is being and the masculine is doing. And for us is to harmonize and practice consciously to Suzanne was saying like, yeah, she was like, she's been too much in her get stuff done all day. So you got to come to a place, you got to come to completeness, to wholeness, to balance, and give yourself the nourishment that the feminine needs, the pose and the receiving. That's where that space, that's where we receive guidance. We tune in, like the exercise we did at the beginning. Okay, I know. There's so much too. I think she received a lot of fascinating information, but I love this topic. I love to share about that. It's dear to my heart, and I've got a lot of wisdom to share. Anyway.
Thank you, Anick. And I'm just going to ask you now, just to check in, where are you now? Are you still deeply in womb space? Have you popped out a bit? You might be halfway. You might have popped way back out of the feminine. It's just like a little opportunity to check in. Where am I now? Am I home? You could ask yourself, am I home? And does something happen when you do that? It's, oh, yeah, here I am. And it's, oh, it feels so nice. And then Anick said, then I do from here. I'm being and doing. I'm being and doing. Or am I doing and not being? Yeah. And as women, we can do and be. Being is pushed into the background. So I guess my invitation and my desire to leave you with something like really deeply today is to bring the being forward, to come into that being, because I know that you're already beautiful doing women. Yeah, you're doing such beautiful things in the world. And yeah, just that being as well. And something happens. So I'm sorry, Megan. Yes,
no, you're
please.
just fine. Yes, I think being is something that I have been working on for a really long time and feel that I will be working on forever. Is just being, right? When Meeka was talking about serenity, my first thought was, how far away am I from serenity? Hell, I'm really far away from serenity. That was my first thought. And I thought, oh, Megan, remind yourself about the importance of being, which ties right into grace. I often talk to people about giving themselves space and grace, right? Like put some space around it, put some grace around it. Don't hold yourself to such high standards, or don't hold, and I need to give myself my own advice, right? So thinking about trying, and see that right there, right? Now I'm trying, right? So the something about being for me is it's hard because I'm such a practical thinker. And so I tend to really focus in on the doing aspect of being rather than just being, right? And so really one of the main ways I can get there is through meditation or through a guided meditation like earlier. It can help me settle, can actually slow down my nervous system to where I'm not talking so fast, thinking so fast, walking so fast, eating so fast. And I can just, small steps for me are a big win. And so just settling in a little bit, moving a little slower, speaking a little slower, walking a little slower, trying to take in a little bit more.
And Megan, I think you're doing that absolutely beautifully, because I've been witnessing you during the session, and I definitely do see you being, yeah. And then everybody has a different way. Everyone has their way of expressing their beautiful self in this life, yeah. And your gift may be, just think of this as what came to me, which is really exciting. Your gift might be to help other women just like you to understand that it's okay. And it is okay. It's okay to be you. It's totally okay. You're beautiful just as you are, as everyone else is. Yeah. And the feminine knows that. Yeah. The feminine truly knows that. And it's just come home. Just come home. I'm home. Because, you know, you were born a woman. Yeah. You're feminine. And you have that guy, the masculine helps you in the experience of you as a beautiful soul in this life. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
One thing to touch on, as well as what Megan was saying, as far as meditation goes, I have found that while, yes, it's effective to sit in one place and do that, walking can be very meditative. It's not so much about you sitting and being quiet in a prayer closet as it is you physically stepping outside your body. Sometimes I'm in a deep meditative state when I'm washing the dishes, or when I'm playing my guitar, or doing something where I'm just allowing spirit to flow through me. So you might be surprised, Megan, how much you are meditating more than you think. You might just not be thinking, because I'm not sitting here quietly, I'm not meditating. Especially if you're doing anything that your spirit is guiding. Like I said, playing music or singing or writing, anything like that can be very meditative.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to add up with what Meeka, and it so resonates. Yeah. When you speak, you trigger my inspiration. Meditation is great to sit there. I think, you know what, this kind of meditation, sitting there on the floor and being still, and is masculine. The feminine way to meditate, for me, anyways, and for my community, my tribe of wild women. Singing, sound healing, singing, moving the body, sensuality, dancing, singing, swimming in the ocean. I love all these massage. I really connect with altered state when I do that. 100%. It regulate my nervous system. It put me in the zone. It connect me with my softness, with my truth. I find it really powerful.
Thank you for the beautiful shares. Yeah. And Rachel, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yes, so going off what Megan and Meeka and Anick said, that first of all, I find, especially with the people that I work with, like first, Megan, you were saying about how you're trying to be more. But first, I find that you need to relinquish the power that you hold and give yourself grace and give that space to allow it to be filled with something else, whether that be just being in the moment or you're going to try something new. It's not about finding the time, it's about actually like giving yourself grace within that moment, and then it will naturally get filled with something. And that could just be nothing and you're just sitting there in the moment with your thoughts, or it might be filled with actually then you're allowing yourself to fill it with another human, because you're giving yourself time for that to be. I find it a really great way. And yeah, my kind of meditation, I find that I'm most in my space. What we did earlier is great for me if I need to calm down, or if I'm planning on jumping on stage, because my inner child can get a bit nervous through different traumatic experiences, and I'm just like, babe, I've got you, no worries, you're here with me. So that calming can really help. But what I love is that dance and having fun. I put on a great tune, I have a pump up song, and I'm like, yes, I can do this. This is amazing. And whatever, think about your best song ever and make it your intro song to whatever you do. And then you'll just feel amazing even if you've never done whatever task it is. And this could be putting on a new dress, or it could be just starting that email that you have to send that you've been putting off for ages. Like, it literally can be attached to anything. And yeah, it's just about finding like the kind of technique that works for you and your energy, and then not judging yourself for it. So giving yourself grace there and be like, this is meant to be.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Rachel. Suzanne, did you have anything that you would like to share?
I wanted to jump in on what Megan said about she works with executive women, and I love that she's talking about being. And executive women, are we not just so in the masculine all the time? And I know that's exactly what we've been talking about, but that I'm grateful that there's someone out there who works with executive women to help them just be. Because while she's speaking, she herself is having examples of, oh, wait, I'm doing again, hang on. And that is just how quickly we can shift. And I think it's important for people to see themselves in what we're all saying, is that there's work here. And it's weird to talk about the art of feminine presence and use the word work, which is so masculine, but we do have to do the shift. We have to be aware. And once that becomes natural, it will flow more. But to expect it to take going to someone like Megan and saying, girl, can you help me out? Like, crap's going crazy. Why crap's going crazy? Because you're in your masculine. Let's move you into your feminine, because what Meeka said is, I can be doing, but hang on, if I ground, maybe I do some singing or dancing like Rachel and Anick talked about. Even if I'm in my office and just for a meeting, I do some singing and dancing, I can shift into the feminine. Then when I go to that meeting, now I'm on fire. And I'm just really hoping that people are hearing that it's okay to do a bit of the masculine work to get to your feminine.
Absolutely.
It's definitely, I don't know if I'd call it masculine work, but yeah.
And I thank you for sharing, everyone. It's been a beautiful conversation. We are starting to get towards the end, and I would really love to honor all of you for your ability to share in the space that we're in. And I invite you again to just drop in drop into womb space. And if I had time with you, what I would love to do is I would love to ask you a question, and maybe you can do this in your own time. Is there's a question, you answer from the masculine, and then you answer from the feminine. That is a very interesting concept. You could even just have that idea at the moment that this is what you can do, because this is what we do. Sometimes we answer from the masculine, sometimes we answer deeply from our feminine. Whether we know it or not, the art of feminine presence is building that muscle of connecting to, am I home? Where am I? Where am I at any given moment, in any interaction, with anything that I do? I get to choose where I come from. And when you choose from the feminine, you will always be more magnetic, more in the presence of the present moment, more in your truth. Fear will disappear. It is a very magnetic, powerful presence. And the best way that I know, in my experience, is to keep checking, where am I home? And how many times in a day am I not? Because I will pop out, I will pop out, I will pop out into something else. I then get to choose where I want to be. And you can too. You're all beautiful, wise women with so many gifts and skills. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing right now is perfect. This is an invitation for you to just be in the presence of yourself, for you, for your joy, for your fulfillment, for your sharing of gifts. And I honor you for sharing this space with me today and allowing me to light up the screen with my passion of coming home over and over, because then I get out of my head and I come into my heart and my womb and my guidance that's divine and inspirational. And it might not be like someone else's, and that's okay. You are filled with many beautiful gifts and treasures. Use them all, connect to them all by coming home over and over. And now I want you to imagine there's an eggshell around you. And this is what we call in Art of Feminine Presence, the light globe. So it's out to fingertips. If you were to put your hands out to the side of you, your light globe is, you touch the edge, and above you and below you, the same, in front of you and behind you is your light globe. And fill your light globe with a beautiful golden light. And when I first did this practice, I had no egg around me. I had to build my light globe. I was too open. I had to learn. It took me probably 3 months or more to learn to feel the edge. So if you don't feel the edge, that's okay. But just pretend, imagine, sense or feel there's a golden globe around you and light it up. So from womb space to light globe, light it up. Be in your energetic bubble. Be beautiful in that light. That's you. And feel, and again, I invite you to rest in that space and just allow all of the conversation that we've had, all of those beautiful gifts and sharings and wisdoms from your beautiful heart, your beautiful self, just to be filled with your light globe, your womb space, your home. And then whenever you are ready to come back, I'm going to set you free into the world again from our Zoom screen to share your beautiful presence with those that you love and invite them in to that beautiful presence of you as a powerful, strong, feminine woman. And I thank you so much for sharing with me. I've loved meeting you all and hearing your wonderful story and concept. And Rachel, you must be so tired by now. You're good? Yeah. And welcome back, Sophia.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm actually a little bit speechless. That was extremely powerful. And I'm really honoured to be able to sit here and listen to this and feel the energy from you and these amazing women from all over the world. I don't know about anyone else, but I've still got goosebumps. My whole body is tingling. So I want to honour you for an incredible conversation and experience, amazing experience on this day. And thank Anick and Rachel and Meeka and Megan and Suzanne for joining us again from all over the world. A special mention to Rachel because it is now, I do believe, 1:30 in the morning from where you are. So thank you so much for doing this. And for everyone who's listening, whether it's the live or the replay, do click on the links and reach out to these amazing women. And also, again, come and join us at Sacred You, where there is so many more of these opportunities to connect with these heartfelt women from all over the world and experience your divine feminine. Like, really, it is amazing. Connect with Leanne if you want to know more about the art of feminine presence. And thank you ever so much for joining us.
Love to you all. Beautiful women.